Come on in, come on in. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're gonna have a conversation today. Where is my lipstick? Because I ate some of my lipstick off. Come on in. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. We're going to talk about how you're not waiting on alignment, you're actually avoiding responsibility. So we're going to have that conversation today. A lot of women are stuck in a state of avoidance because they want to avoid responsibility. This is why they want people to come and save them, all this kind of stuff. Like, it's just the most with the least. Come on in, come on in, come on in. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette, and I am a mentor for women of wealth and influence. And what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients in mastering wealth, influence, and power without actually burning themselves out. The power that they're mastering is their actual feminine power. So we're going to get into that. A lot of women want the benefits of operating from a feminine space, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And so we're going to kind of dive deep into that today because we don't really have time for that right now. FYI, if you didn't know, we don't really have time for that. This is not the time. If it's your first time following me, welcome. If not, then you are well aware of the information that I have been providing to y'all about the things that are happening around the world and happening in this space. And and y'all have been seeing these things come to fruition. Thank you, my love, for these likes. So we're going to get into it. Make sure my lipstick is balanced the way I want. So come on in, come on in, come on in. We're talking about how, like I said, you're not waiting for alignment, you're avoiding responsibility. And I'm not going to, and normally when I talk about things, thank you, my love, for these gifts, I'm coming from a soft, but then a still very kind of stern space. But I'm not even talking with no softness today. Time is run out on a lot of the stuff that a lot of women are doing, and I need you to start paying attention. Time is up. The jig is up. You need to be, if you ain't been focused, some of y'all just gonna get left behind. I don't know. But a whole lot of people are going to be positioned for poverty extremely soon. And I really hope that y'all have been paying attention to me and y'all have been listening. Okay? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to start this off with some clarity and no softness. I'm going to just tell you, you're not confused. You're not being careful. You're not, how can I say this? You're not discerning. You are literally emotionally unregulated, and you're calling it alignment. This live is not for women who want to feel better. So if you came here to feel better, I'm not your girl. I'm the one that's going to tell you the truth, okay? This is for women who are ready to be confronted into power. Let's talk about why your inability to decide is spiritual and it's really disobedient. Women struggle with decision making. They struggle to make clear decisions because they don't want to be the one that looks like being the bad guy. They don't want to be the one that has to have the final say so, except for when we're trying to get the last word in. But a lot of times women don't want to make decisions. I was having a conversation with one of my really good friends, and we were speaking about how people are talking so much about, their life and how much they don't like where they live in the States and all of this and all of that. And when they're presented with options, there's all these excuses about why they can't do X, Y, Z. Let me tell y'all how y'all keep making me mad, okay? With the mind frames that y'all have. You see the price of eggs. You see what's going on with as far as how things are going up in price. You see all these things, and what you are doing with your time is getting in the search engine of TikTok and trying to find tips and tricks on how you can get money from men instead of realizing that you yourself are money. Do you understand that women amplify and multiply what men have? Do you not understand that's why they come to get our energy, because we are that powerful? And you are out here trying to find tips and tricks on how to get money from them, not realizing that you are the real bag? It's really annoying. And what really really took me up was today I saw this beautiful sister who is going around on tour, and she is literally hosting classes to teach women how to pose. And I'm looking at the videos from her classes, and these classes are filled with women who are interested in learning alternate ways so they can pose and be graceful with their body and their feminine energy. And y'all are sitting on here trying to figure out how y'all can go and get money from men instead of realizing that you have your own creative and witty inventions in your very being, this is what it says in scripture. You have your own creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. And you are here trying to figure out how you can get money and how you can do other things through other people, how you can outsource your responsibility and outsource your resources. You need to make it make sense. You need to really, really make it make sense. You are avoiding responsibility. That's why when a lot of women come to me and say things like, oh, I'm just so afraid of success. You're not afraid of success. You scared of what people are going to say about you when you rise up. You scared you're going to lose people. You scared of the responsibility that's sitting up there at the top. Okay? You're not afraid of success. You don't have an issue succeeding. You like to succeed. And some of you like to succeed so much so you can shine on somebody else. Y'all don't got no issue with succeeding. You have an issue with what comes with it. And this is what I find to be an issue with a lot of women. You want the reward, but you don't want to take the responsibility of what's required for the position that you've accepted, whether that is a position as a wife, whether that is a position as a mother, whether that is a position as a CEO, whether that is a position of a business. When you make a decision to accept a role and a responsibility, you have to understand that there are things that come with that. It's just not the rewards. You can't take the rewards and not take the responsibility. It's required. This is literally biblical. It talks about it. It talks about to whom much is given, much is required. And I think that a lot of women don't realize the seriousness of a lot of things that they want to be involved in, and they don't want to take responsibility. They want to try to outsource those responsibilities. That's not the way this works. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, because one of the things I also need you to understand is that clarity is not a feeling. And I just made a TikTok about this. Clarity is not a feeling. It's a regulation. It literally is a part of your regulation. So if you're not regulated, nervous system wise, emotionally, a lot of times it's because you lack clarity. And it's because you put yourself in positions to where you're extremely confused. Okay? So let's go ahead and get straight into this whole aspect about how you're not waiting on alignment. You're actually just kind of avoiding responsibility. First things first, you may have been in a space where you've been waiting to feel calm before you move. You want everything to calm down before you take your first step. You've made clarity more of a sensation instead of actually a decision. When you know you are to do something, you are to move on it. We are in a time right now where you don't really waste time trying to figure out what the next move is. When you are being told something and you are being called in a direction, you need to be moving your feet right now. This is not the time for you to be wasting all that wasting time. All that stuff is over with. And a lot of you have really convinced yourself that God isn't giving you peace right now in this season, and it must not be the right time. When in reality, no, that's not it. Peace is a fruit of regulation. Peace is a spiritual fruit of you being regulated. Peace is basically a byproduct of you being able to regulate your own nervous system. And the fact that you are not regulated is the reason why you do not have any peace. It's not other people. It's not your children. It's not their man. It's not your business. It's not any of these things. It is literally you. Peace is a spiritual fruit of regulation. And most of you, key word when I say this, most of you, most women have not regulated yourself into command. So you've outsourced clarity to your feelings. And that's not the way it goes. Because let me also put you on game. You understand how the Most High is not a God of confusion? Let me tell you what confusion actually is, if you didn't know. Confusion actually is just an ungoverned emotion at scale. If you allow yourself to be confused, and I want to put this in any scenario, I don't care if you confused in a situationship, if you confused in your life of where you're going, all the root of confusion all together. I need you to understand this. Confusion is just ungoverned emotion at scale. See, you allowed yourself to be in a scenario where you're in this situationship, and now you have all these feelings that are now on 10. They've scaled. You've allowed yourself to sit in a state of confusion and allowed your emotions to fester to the point to where it's scaling up, and now you have to ask the question, what are we? Confusion, like I said, is an ungoverned emotion at scale. You've allowed it to get too high. You've allowed this to go on too long, and you have simply lost control. And that is why you are in a state of confusion, because the Most High is not a God of confusion. You did that. Nobody confuse you. Nobody can confuse you. You can only confuse yourself, just like nobody can play you. Nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. Period. And you need to figure out what lane you fit in so you can correct yourself. You are given everything you need to get warning signs about people. You're not listening. You're not connected to your core. Therefore, you can't hear. And so a lot of you who are walking around here saying you don't trust people, the reality is you don't trust yourself, and you shouldn't trust yourself, because based on your track record, you don't discern properly. And if you don't discern properly, you do not need to be out here dating. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, actually. If you do not discern properly, you do not need to be out here dating. You don't need to be trying to look for tips and trips on how to do. These men finna turn you everywhere but loose, because you don't know what you're doing. You really, really don't. So you don't need to be looking for that. You need to be trying to regulate yourself so you can experience the spiritual fruit of peace. That's what needs to happen. And you cannot do that in a state of confusion. It does not work that way. Okay? And I want you to really think about something. Like I said, confusion is just an ungoverned emotion at scale. And I want you to think about the last time that you delayed a decision, calling it discernment. Or I'm just going to wait and see what God say. First of all, you've been praying about this for too long. You've already gotten an answer. You just refuse to move your feet, and now you want to hold off and say you're waiting on God's timing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And a lot of you are trying to hear from the Most High, through a fog, or through the fog of your own fear. The Most High is not, let me be very clear. Fear is a low vibrational state. You understand what I'm telling you? And it's an energy that is transferred to you. It is not something that spiritually you have on the inside of you. Okay? What you need to understand about the vibrational state of fear, the Most High sits on the vibrational state of love, peace, sitting above. No one, not even the creator of all things, is going to come down and meet you on the frequency of fear, because the frequency of fear does not resonate with the one that created all things. And because you are created in the image, in the likeness, and have dominion like the one who created all things, fear should not be taking over you. But because you sit on that low vibrational frequency of fear, the only thing that you're going to attract are other people who are going to add to that fear. A lot of women tend to struggle with anxious attachment style, right? I used to be anxiously attached. I am no longer anxiously attached. I am very secure attached, okay? And so one of the things in that space when women are anxiously attached, the deep-rooted fear is being abandoned. Well, nobody wants to be abandoned, of course, and all of these things, but you focus so much on being abandoned that you become a repellent to love, because you're always trying to possess and obsess over a specific person, hoping that they won't abandon you, and you get exactly what it is that you don't want. They abandon you. I always tell women all the time, if you ever want to lose something, if you ever want something to snatch itself away from you, all you have to do is obsess about it. All you have to do is overthink about it. When you overthink and overanalyze and put yourself under that spell, because that's what happens, you put yourself under the spell of worry. Worry repels money. Worry repels love. Worry repels all kind of everything that you desire and that you want. Why does worry repel all these things? Because worry is a spiritual violation according to scripture. And if you do not understand, thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. You have to understand 3 key things as a woman if you are going to be on this earth. You need to understand spiritual law. You need to understand the science of yourself. And you need to understand the psychology of your lineage. If you don't understand those 3 things, continue to trauma bond. Continue to have relationships where the root of everything and the foundation of every element that you create in a relationship is rooted in trauma. and I said what I said. Because if you really want to uproot yourself from that type of experience of consistently trauma bonding and everything, then you are going to have to deal with the reality of self. And understanding that the things that you are starting to manifest, when you understand these three things, like I said, spiritual law, understanding the science of yourself as a woman, and then understanding the psychological nature of your lineage, what that is going to do for you is build a solid foundation of understanding. And it literally tells you in scripture, with all things, make sure you get an understanding. You need an understanding, because you having that understanding is going to give you what? Clarity. And what is clarity again? It is not a feeling. It is literally letting you know that you have regulated your nervous system. That is what is required for your nervous system to be regulated, clarity. The reason why you get into this experience and you go out with somebody and you get that butterfly feeling in your stomach, and you understand that butterfly feeling in your stomach is not love, it is a warning, okay? It is because something within the body is letting you know that there is confusion near. But no, you think that is the golden ticket for you to run into that because you feel like you're in love. Absolutely not. Scientifically, when your body does that, it is letting you know, Molly, you in danger, girl. There is confusion, amok. This does not mean that you go and take time to try to investigate, well, maybe I'm tripping and maybe that. This is a decision. This is where women struggle to make decisions right here. This very pivotal moment right there. The minute you tell yourself you tripping, when you feel something that is very clear and very evident to you that something is off, that is how you set yourself up to become prey to whatever that experience is, whoever that person is, and whatever that scenario is. You are setting yourself up to be prey when you do not trust and you cannot listen to self. Because you are always being warned. You are always being told. Nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply cannot pay it. Are you not paying attention? It's really, really that simple. The Most High is not going to jump down and try to convince you and do mental gymnastics through a mental fog of fear. Nobody is going to do that with you. You have to make some real decisions. And a lot of times women don't like to make real decisions, which is why you never get into alignment to receive. Women don't understand the smallest thing of you not being able to receive compliments. Hey, lovey, you not being able to receive compliments. You not being able to receive something as simple as, support. These things tell on you. They tell on you. You're afraid to be vulnerable. You're afraid to allow someone to fully come in and support you because that is foreign to you. Okay? So the thing about it is, like I said, I need you to understand your nervous system is truly a spiritual filter. Hello, somebody. If you did not know, so while everyone is having all these conversations about, oh, you need to be regulating your nervous system, you can't regulate your nervous system without spiritual support. If you didn't know, now you know. The reason why you can't regulate your nervous system despite all the affirmations that you tell yourself is because you have no spiritual rooting. You have no spiritual grounding. And because of that, you don't know who you are. And how are you going to create stability and serve someone that you don't even know? And that's sad because that is actually yourself. But then you take your time to investigate every man that comes into your space. You got to know his social. You got to know what he likes to eat. You need to know how his back like to be rubbed. But you can't articulate to me in a sentence what your true boundaries are. Don't piss me off. And then you are trying to understand why you are not getting the reflection of love that you feel that you deserve when you are not a reflection of love to yourself. The scripture tells you to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Again, women should know spiritual law. And the fact that you don't know spiritual law is why you always tangled up. That's why you always tangled up. Because you don't know spiritual law. You don't know yourself. You don't understand the science of yourself. So you try to go out here and do things that men do. You try to operate according to the other design. And you're trying to figure out why it doesn't work for you. And then in the meantime, you're looking at your mama and your aunties and your grandmas and everybody that came before you with judgment because of the decisions that they made when you ain't doing no better than them. You just hiding it better. Find somebody else to play with. Y'all are not fooling anyone just because you are turning around and you are elevating, you are making money now and you are doing things and you've broken all these cycles. Sweetheart, you are still a lemon that came from a lemon tree. And if somebody squeezes you, lemon juice coming out. So you really can find you somebody else to play with that because it's ridiculous. It is truly ridiculous that you are expecting the Most High to come and join you in a fog of fear. You're not waiting on confirmation. A lot of y'all are lying. I'm just waiting on God. Y'all are not waiting on confirmation. You're waiting on permission not to mess up. Because that's what you're really scared of. Because you don't trust yourself to be able to hold the very thing that you claim that you want. You don't trust your ability to be able to hold the thing that you claim that you really want. Because you really don't believe at the root of these things that you don't deserve, that you believe that you don't deserve these things. This is why you end up sabotaging experiences, whether it's dating, whether it's around your dollars, whether it's around expansion. Any of these things, you sabotage these experiences because it goes back to the root of who you believe you are. And when you are not clear on your beliefs, that's a very dangerous thing, because out of beliefs comes security and insecurity. Out of your beliefs comes security and insecurity. And here's the thing about beliefs. Beliefs impact biology, and biology influence the way that you behave. This is why when you think you got a pregnancy scare, you start doing all that throwing up, because your brain is trained to pick up on the things that you think pregnancy symptoms are. So when you say this out loud and you say it over yourself, because there's power of life and death in the tongue, and you start throwing up and you start getting sick and all these different type of things, and then all of a sudden you go to the doctor and find out what, you're not pregnant. Guess what? You stopped throwing up, didn't you? Now you got all the energy in the world. You ain't sleepy no more, huh? Now you can't. Now your nose is just fine. You only can smell what's happening right here. Beforehand, you can smell what was going on in California. You live in Texas. That is how powerful the brain is. This is why the brain does not understand sense of humor. This is why it tells you in scripture, literally, there's power of life and death in the tongue. You need to understand how to bridle your tongue. All of these things, like, you're not grasping. You're not grasping. Okay? So it's very important. It's extremely vital. It's not always conscious, and the nervous system regulation is needed to feel safe in a new identity, period. Which is why you have to reprogram your mind. That's exactly why I offer what I offer in the emotional wealth kit in my bio. The first things that you're going to learn in there is you're going to learn how to master your emotions. You're going to learn how to reprogram your mind, and you're going to learn how to activate your magnetism as a woman. Because the reality is that if you are still running around and you have not reprogrammed your mind, you are still running on the programming of childhood. And if your programming in childhood was degrading, demeaning, and small, that is your inner voice. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much money you make. Y'all trying to figure out why people have money act the way they do? Because a lot of people are just a bunch of adult children. See, a lot of people are still running around trying to deal with childhood as an adult. It's not a lot of grown people out here, sweetheart. Grown means to mature. A lot of people are aging. Not a lot of people are maturing. And that's what people are not understanding. So what people have to really grasp is that if you really want to be met in the God zone, you're going to have to rise above the frequency of fear. Because that frequency of fear that you're sitting on has you avoiding responsibilities. And women who understand scriptural law, women who understand the science of themselves, women who understand their psychological lineage, these particular women are setting the tone to create the reality that they desire. And those are the type of women that flourish in every season. They flourish in every season. No matter if they're saying it's a famine, these women tend to flourish in every single season. Because here's the thing that you have to understand. While you're sitting around waiting for permission to not messing up, your emotional body isn't trained to hold the tension. So you default to pausing, praying, or processing, when in actuality, you need to grab it and you need to contain it. Y'all are too scary for me. The thing about it is, what you're not understanding as time goes on, especially in this country, all you have right now is truth. And if you don't know any truth, you're not going to be able to tell the truth from falsehood in a minute. And you really need to be paying attention and really going deep. Because when we're in a season now, there is no such thing as procrastinating. Because you don't have a procrastination issue. Procrastination, if we want to be honest with you, is not even real. And the reason why I'm telling you procrastination isn't real is because procrastination literally says that you don't believe that you're going to achieve this outcome if you do it, which is why you're not in a rush. or you don't believe that you can do it at all, or it's going to happen, which is why you don't participate in the experience. You don't have an issue with procrastination. You have a belief issue. Because if you thought you was going to check out of here in the next 24 hours, I guarantee you would be living the life you want to live in the next 24 hours. Find you somebody to play with. If it was told to you by a doctor that you got 24 hours, I guarantee you ain't finna waste them last 24 hours. You're going to go and do whatever it is you feel like you want to do in those 24 hours. You ain't going to wait. You ain't going to take a second to think. You're just going to step out there and you're going to do it. Why? Because that is the belief. So stop lying. Stop lying. Talking about you a procrastinator. And I don't know why I procrastinate. You procrastinate because you lack belief. You procrastinate because you're not rooted in truth of who you are. Because if you knew who you are and you believe what you believe, you would execute it on it every single day. You would not take a day off on executing that. But the reality is your belief is shot. And we are in a season now, you can't afford for your belief to be shot, because there are going to be downloads and messages that you're going to receive. And if you don't act on them immediately, tomorrow you might see somebody else acting on the very thing that you were told to do. Because what you better know is this: the Most High's will is always going to be done, whether you choose to do it or not. Now, you can choose to reap the benefits and the rewards of obedience, or you could sacrifice by sitting back and positioning yourself for lower. Because what I don't think a lot of people understand that live in this country is that a great amount of people are about to be positioned and pushed into poverty. And if you have not been focusing on what it is that you need to be focusing on, you are going to miss your beat. Much like those women in scripture who had their jars but didn't have no oil. You need to be ready when it's time. You need to understand that in every single recession, there are people who are receiving, people who are deceiving, and people who are setting themselves up to win. What lane do you fall in? And I'm sorry, also the deceived. People are deceiving, people are receiving, people are coming on top and winning, and people are being deceived. You better figure out which lane you in. You better figure out which lane you in. Because sitting on the frequency of fear is not going to help you any. And the fact that you feel like all these things are just going to work itself out without your participation is crazy. You're going to have to do something. Y'all don't have enough Denzel in y'all to meet. Y'all ain't leaving with nothing. You're going to mess around and not leave with nothing. Because you don't want to do anything. You have got to understand that we are in the season now where you need to be moving, you need to be shaking, and you need to be in proper community. A lot of y'all finna find out y'all ain't got no friends. A lot of y'all finna find out about the people around you. See, y'all been playing too much. Y'all want to link up with people because it's cool. Ain't nobody in the community got any kind of resources if anything happens, and everybody gonna end up turning on each other. See, you're not really paying attention. Y'all keep people around you that's dangerous. Y'all ain't building no kind of community. Y'all ain't doing none of that. And I'm telling you, you're going to find yourself in a huge problem. But let me tell you something. You better stop blaming the Most High for the confusion that you've created with your refusing to lead yourself. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Again, I'm going to tell you again. Stop blaming the Most High for the confusion that you have and that you have created, all because you refuse to lead yourself. Women don't want to make decisions and don't want to be self-led, which is why you are out here seeking men to raise you, realizing that a lot of these men don't have the sense or the salary to give you what it is that you actually need. But if you positioned yourself and got yourself together and elevated yourself, then you would be in position to be able to meet people that are like-minded. How you out here talking about you can't meet nobody like-minded and you ain't out here doing nothing to elevate your mind and be in community with other people that you are like-minded? Oh, that costs too much money for me to do that. I can't afford to do that. But you can afford to sit in the same scenarios you've been sitting in. Please. You can afford to keep going to brunch with people that you barely like. You can afford to keep trying to show up and impress and buy things to fit in spaces that you barely like, but you can't invest in your development for you to elevate and get to the next level and actually meet like-minded people. You're not ready to come up off the vibration of fear. You're not ready to come up off that state. And that's why everything you get into turns into a nightmare, because what do you expect when you living on Nightmare on Elm Street? You sitting on the frequency of fear. Do you really expect love to join you there? Grow up. Grow up. Love is too close to peace on the vibrational scale. It is a spiritual fruit. You think that people who are living in peace are going to join you in hell? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Living in fear is in hell, because fear is not of God, and it literally tells you that. But no, you allow fear to be transferred and transmitted into your space because you refuse to guard your gates. That's why you're easily influenced by what happens on the news. You're easily influenced by what's going on with these tariffs. Y'all are allowing all these distractions to take you off the path of destiny. And when they dump it on your head and you get positioned for poverty, you're going to be mad and want to cry out to the Most High. When you have been being warned and have been told for the longest, you really going to have to stop blaming the Most High for the confusion that you create because you refuse to lead yourself. Stop waiting on someone to come and lead you. Stop it. A lot of these men that a lot of the men that y'all want to come and lead y'all are not capable of leading. Do y'all understand that? Okay. If a lot of you are out here saying that you want men that are disciplined, you want men that are wealthy, you want men that take care of home, that do this and that do that. Do you understand? And that work out. There is a small percentage of men that are extremely disciplined and that truly do the work. And a lot of those men, you won't catch them online talking a whole bunch of stuff. You won't catch them in the podcast stuff. You will catch them in spaces where they're with other people that are like-minded. But because you are not doing what you need to do to elevate yourself, you will never even enter into those rooms to access those type of people. So you're not even living in a real reality because you're not taking care of yourself and seeing yourself first. If you want to manifest anything in your life and manifest something that you can actually sustain, you have to understand that manifestation requires, okay? It requires intentionality, responsibility, and accountability. And I say this all the time. When you are manifesting, you need to consider your IRA. All y'all just want to consider the I. You just want, I'm writing down my intentions. I'm going to speak them 3 times. I'm going to write them in my prayer journal. I'm going to write them in this. I'm going to write them on my wall. I'm going to write them on my mirror. You can write them till the cows come home. Do you hear me? But you will not be able to sustain whatever it is that you are trying to manifest if you don't understand the responsibility and the accountability that goes with that intentionality, sweetheart. Let's talk about it from another space. Y'all want to be married? You want to be a wife? Do you understand the responsibility and the accountability that comes with that? Or you think it just fall on him? You understand that the wife is responsible for the environment, for the atmosphere? Are you a peaceful experience enough to where you can even, first of all, are you walking peace? Are you a walking example of the fruit of peace? And if you are not, then how can you create a peaceful atmosphere in a home where things can flourish and be nurturing? How? It's not possible. You have to understand the responsibilities that come with that. And see, there is a very thin line. A very thin line. It's a pipeline from idea to idolizing something. You like the idea of marriage because you like the idea of not being by yourself as you age and having someone you can go through life with and all those things. But you're not paying attention to the responsibility of what it looks like to be in a partnership, sweetheart. You don't even know how to be a damn friend. You don't even know how to be a friend. But you swear you're going to be you the best wife. Walking around here saying you're a wife, you got wife energy, all this. You don't even know how to be a friend to yourself. You don't even know how to honor your own boundaries. So does that mean you're going to walk into a marriage and be able to honor the boundaries of your partner? Because men got boundaries. See, just because a lot of women don't have none, men got them. See, women don't have limits. Men have them. Just like how women like to say, oh, a man can't never take what he give to a woman. Of course not, because you're not supposed to take that. He looking at you like, why you being a damn fool and taking that? Because I ain't finna be one. You ain't finna get it off on me. So who the fool here? Is it really the man who can't take what he dishes out? Or is it the one who decides to take what someone gives you? Just because somebody puts food on a plate does not mean you have to eat it. If you choose to eat it, don't get mad at somebody else because they don't want to eat it. That's what you have to understand about yourself. A lot of, again, it goes back to women don't want to make decisions. Well, if you don't want to be with me, then why are you here? Why? Because it's a lick. Because you a lick. They're still here because you're a lick and you supply. Just like the man at the mall with the chicken. You want a sample? Why is he still passing out the samples? Because eventually somebody gonna buy, somebody gonna take it. The people still gonna take it. So you are a lick. That's why. You need to be thinking. You don't make decisions and then you want to get mad at men when they make their decisions. And what women really drop the ball on is that you don't understand that men are very short-term thinking. We are long-term thinking. We're supposed to be long-term thinking. We are longevity. That's our game. That's what we do. And so when you make comments like, well, if you didn't want a baby, then why did you and me? Sweetheart, he didn't and you because he wanted a baby. He and you because he needed a release at that moment. And you just happened to catch it. See, it's up to you to make a decision to allow that type of foolishness to happen. But see, when women don't want to make real decisions, you want to blame other people for the scenarios that you position yourself for. Nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply ain't paying attention. You cannot blame someone for an experience that you chose to participate in. It does not make any sense. And you can like it and not like it. It's what it is. Y'all have got to stop blaming men for things when you are consciously making decisions to participate and give permission to things that you don't have to give permission to. Men are very short term. All they want to do is this. All of them want it. Can we get that out the way? Yes. The really nice one, he wanted too. He just might be willing to do a little bit more work to get it. They all want it. So I don't know why y'all trying to act like it's this big thing. You're shocked that that's all they want. They're short-term thinkers. They ain't thinking about the long game until they get somebody in that space that make them think about long-term. Until they get somebody in that space that inspires them to want to consider long-term. That is how they operate. They don't operate like you, but again, you don't understand the science of yourself, so you don't know this. And if you don't know this, this is why you need to get the emotional wealth kit. It's in the bio, $197. You get a recliner, affirming, afterpay. You're going to learn how to master your emotions the feminine way. You're going to learn your feminine magnetism from cycle syncing to how you can use it to make money to all kind of things. And then you're also going to learn how to reprogram your mind so you can stop repeating the things that you continue to repeat. Because you don't have to go through these things, okay? Because it's ridiculous, the things that we position ourselves for and then want to be like, it's your fault, it's you. No, baby, it's you. Because you will always meet yourself. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Every man, every person, every teacher, you are always meeting yourself. You are to ask yourself, what reflection of my mirror revealed this? And if you don't like it, that's when you clean your mirror. But you need to stop acting like you are above the people that are in your space, because it is your energy that called it in, sweetie. Yours. She said, I'm glad I'm healed to finally hear and understand without feeling judged. Absolutely. And there's no reason to feel judged. The first way to solve a problem is awareness. It's becoming aware. And the reality is, hey, love, a lot of us as women, we're not taught this and we're not aware. And I'm going to tell you something. Emotional wealth is the new currency. They spent the last 15 or so years plugging into your head toxic culture with reality TV, media, and the things that they put on there because they wanted you to be emotionally irate. They wanted to have society in a fear-mongering state. They wanted to have society extremely anxiety-driven. All of this is by design. So when you crash out, they got somewhere for you to go. That's why they talking about putting folks over there in El Salvador. That's why they creating them cute computerized prisons that a lot of y'all don't really know about. They can be filled with thousands. See, they're planning for you to be able to crash out because they understand a lot of you lack the emotional regulation to be able to stay the course, to be able to focus, to be able to get things done. Y'all got to crash out. They created this whole crash out society, and then they're going to contain you. That's the plan. See, the goal is to extremely exhaust you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, until you act out physically to the point to where socially, we got a limit on that. We got a limit on that, okay? Let me go ahead and block you because you're coming in here playing, and I don't feel like it. Normally I make an example, but I'm not going to do it today. Because today we're talking serious business. You're avoiding responsibility. You're not waiting on alignment. That's not what you're doing. And I want you to start being honest. I want you to really ask yourself, what was the last decision you made that you delayed? What story did you justify, or did you tell yourself to justify you stopping? This ain't the right time. This ain't this. You better be moving according to divine timing and not your own timing. Like I said, procrastination is not real, and you will be held accountable for that, because procrastination, the root of your procrastination issue is the fact that you lack belief. You lack belief in your ability to get it done. You lack belief in the fact that it's going to happen. You lack belief in some area that is blocking you from executing, and that's going to cause you a problem. Because like I said, a lot of people are going to be positioned for poverty. You better ask yourself where you're going to be. See, there's two types of people that we going forward. We have entered into basically the new or another industrial revolution. But it's more on the AI side. And let me be very clear with you. There are two types of people that's going to be going forward in this life. There are going to be those who position themselves for forward progress, and there are going to be those who do nothing and position themselves for poverty. Choose your character, and understand the character that you choose, okay, is the one that is now going to lead the lineage. So you can lead the lineage in forward progress, or you can lead the lineage in poverty. It is your decision. It is your choice. It is literally up to you. But you can't avoid it, because it's going to hit everybody on the front doorstep. So as much as you feel like everything is just going to work itself out without your participation, that's crazy work, because it's not going to happen. And you cannot keep delaying these decisions and justifying these pauses. I want you to really reflect back and really think about the last time that you made a decision, or you were trying to make a decision and you delayed it. Reflect back and ask yourself, what do you see? That's not discernment. It's delay. That's not peace. It's permission seeking. Validate yourself, then redirect. Because you're going to have to do this work. But let me go ahead and let you know and show you energetically how this works. Let me show you energetically and spiritually why you keep circling clarity, but you never seem to get it. Okay? There is a micro framework that happens within yourself that causes you to disobey what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And if you are not receiving the things that you feel like you should be receiving, you are not getting the things that you feel like you need to be getting, 9 times out of 10 is normally because you're operating from a space of spiritual disobedience. Let me tell you how it goes. So let's just say something happens, and number one, it starts with you delaying, which basically means that you hesitate under pressure. It's some form of pressure that came, well, maybe it's not the right time to start, or maybe I don't need to do that. So it starts with you delaying. Then, once you delay, dysregulation happens. You begin to, after a while, after you delay and you realize you didn't do it and you start feeling all down, you start spiraling emotionally. This is where the dysregulation comes in. You start spiraling emotionally. You start second guessing yourself, and then you just get numb and you don't do it. You don't do nothing. Then that pushes you in the state of disobedience, where you silence your intuition. You know you keep feeling that you're supposed to be going in this direction. You're supposed to be doing this. But because you're so dysregulated, you then silence the voice within you. You miss divine timing. And you think you being intentional though. But in reality, you are avoiding enforcement. You are not in your feminine. You literally are in a freeze. You are not in your feminine. You are literally in a freeze. And like I told you, I want to say it was yesterday or the day before when I went live, faith is the true wealth. Trust in the Most High. Faith is the true wealth of feminine currency. I'm sorry, the true currency of feminine wealth. The feminine always knows that she's going to be provided for. The feminine always knows that she's taken care of. The feminine acts as such. The feminine operates according to the law of assumption. Why? Because when Eve got here, she didn't say what a light said, what a food at, what we gonna eat, what we gonna do. Everything was laid out for her. So if everything was laid out for her, why would it not be laid out for you? If this is the commitment that you've made to your life, if I'm going to honor you, if I'm going to honor the one that created you, so you say, in the form of you being a believer, then why are you not using the law of assumption and operating according to the belief that you're going to be taken care of? So why are you not showing up consistently? Why are you procrastinating? Because you don't believe. See, this what the fake belief is going to be exposed this year. Y'all thought I was playing. You fake believers are going to be exposed. Hell, if you want to tell the truth, you already exposed, which is why the majority of people don't want your God. They look at your life. They look at your little belief. They watch you walk around as a walking contradiction, talking about how you believe in one area, but then you're faithless in another area. You are seen. And this is why they don't want your God. But see, the more of this is going to be popping out. The more of the fake believers are going to be popping out, because real believers move according to the law of assumption. We already know it's done. If we understand that it's not a violation of spiritual law, if we understand that it is going to exalt the one that created us, if we understand that it is for our good, we're going to ask for it confidently, and we're going to operate like it's going to happen tomorrow. Before I became a 6-figure plus business owner, where I built my business from the ground up without hustling, no hustle, I knew that I was going to be that. I walked around as if I was going to be there. I had habits as if I was already that. And it did not take me long to achieve that, because I already was on that vibrational state. Okay? And so the fact that you're not in that space is why you can't get to where you want to be. That's why. Because you can't get to where you want to be. Hold on one second, y'all. I think somebody is coming to work on something. So let me tell them that they can come in. Hey, please come. I guess. Cause this but I'm on a thing, so I can't talk. Yeah, but it's there, and it's the thermostat. It's something. Whatever you do, I guess. Turning it on is gonna make it even hotter. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna have to turn this on. Oh Jesus, I understand. Okay. But if you're not getting the things that you desire and the things that you want, okay. That's why. And you really need to kind of ask yourself, are you in alignment? Are you avoiding something? Are you getting down to the bottom of what exactly you are supposed to be doing? Because a lot of women are truly, truly missing it. So let's get into the next aspects of this, okay? Like I said, the 3-part formula works like this. First, you delay. Then you become dysregulated. Then you get into the state of disobedience. When you get to the state of disobedience, you become a repellent for the thing that you want to manifest. Okay? When you violate spiritual law, you're not going to be able to manifest the things that you desire. One very serious spiritual law that people really need to pay attention to is the law of sowing and reaping. Okay? If you lie to yourself, you will attract liars. If you deceive yourself, you will be deceived. If you cheat yourself, people will cheat you. All of these things are a reflection of self. Okay? And so you really have to start asking yourself, where am I in the freeze? Where am I not in my feminine? Where am I not making clear decisions? Because indecision, whether you want to believe it or not, indecision is the slowest form of self-abandonment. So Little Miss Anxious Attachment Style, don't piss me off. Little Miss Anxious Attachment Style that is so concerned with being left and being abandoned. The fact that you won't make decisions is self-abandonment. So the reason why you keep attracting people in your space that keep abandoning you is because you keep abandoning yourself, altering yourself, hoping that you will shift yourself so this person will support you. You will continue to attract abandonment because you abandon yourself. Indecision is the slowest form of self-abandonment. The longer you sit in that situationship that you know is not serving you and not making a decision to end it because you're waiting on him to end it or XYZ, you are abandoning yourself. So don't get mad when that person abandons you. You will always meet yourself. And this is exactly why the program that I created, the Muse Activator, exists. Because the truth is, a lot of women were not taught emotional governance. And it's not your fault. When it tells you in scripture, a lot of women will say things like, it says in scripture, don't throw your pearls to swine. It says in scripture, for you to guard your heart above everything else. You don't know how to guard your heart. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because if you did, your boundaries would be better. If you did, then you wouldn't be out here attracting narcissists all the time. A narcissist hate to see me coming. Do you understand? I like to see them coming. I like to see them coming. Because they don't scare me. They don't make me nervous. Because I see them. I know exactly who they are. Narcissistic people, the narcissist spirit itself is a spirit that is an insecure spirit, which is why it tries to outsource power. It absorbs the power of other people because it believes that it is powerless. So it steals its symptoms, which is why when they're done with you, they want another supply, sweetie. They outsource power. The reason why I don't care about seeing them coming, or the reason why they don't shake me if I see them coming, is because I understand that I have access to all power, according to Luke 17:21, that says that I have the kingdom of heaven within me. So I don't have to outsource my power to be powerful. I just have to go within. And once I go within, the narcissists normally run from me. Okay? Because what I'm going to pull out is going to put a mirror up to you. And narcissist spirits don't like to be exposed. They don't like to be seen. They don't like to be, they don't like it. But because you don't see yourself as powerful and you have not accessed the power within yourself, you continue to attract them and entertain them. Makes no sense. They should hate to see you come. But you hate to, you so scared that everybody's coming around you. No. Not having emotional governance, like I said, is not something that we're taught. We're taught, a lot of us, to wake up and be, to be slaves. We're taught that saying no is not appropriate. We're taught that, all of these different things just to make us shrink and make us be small. And I remember one of my clients that was in my program came to me just like this. She was high achieving, very spiritually gifted, okay, like myself, but she was stuck in the loop of over praying and under deciding. Okay, she was exhausted by her own indecision. She was scared to make a decision. She didn't want to be great because she felt like men weren't gonna like her. She became too great and got too much money. Men ain't gonna like her. She feel like she's gonna have to leave her community behind. All these type of things, and she was allowing all of that to stop her from getting to the next level. Okay, she was exhausted by it though. She was exhausted by not making a decision and being everything for everyone and nothing from herself. Inside the Muse Activator, which is my 6-week program, we recalibrated her regulation response. Okay? She stopped outsourcing confirmation. She started leading, okay? Like clarity was her birthright. Because it is. And within 30 days, she made a major move that she had been sitting on for 6 weeks. I've had women come to me and tell me, I want to start a business in the next 5 years. And I said, no, we're going to start this off, getting it started today, and we've started in the next 5 months. I've had women to come to me and say, I want to attract better relationships. Okay, so let's get this energetics together so you can actually start attracting your energetic match, because that is where you are meeting right now. So we need to elevate the energy. I have had women come to me being sick with alcohol problems, liver damage, A1C issues, and all of these things have been reversed because we've gotten these energetics and these emotions together. The reason why you spend the way you spend is because you lack emotional control. The reason why you eat is the way you eat is because you lack emotional control. And this is coming from someone who used to be 100 pounds heavier. And I'm telling you what I know. The fact that you can't regulate your emotions, not manage them. I'm not telling you to manage them. The fact that you cannot regulate your emotions means that you cannot become a master of yourself. And in this season coming up, while y'all are asking ChatGTP all these questions about your love life and all this stuff and how to do XYZ, you need to be paying attention to what is really happening in the world. The World Economic Forum stated that human creativity is an irreplaceable asset. A lot of you are outsourcing your consciousness to media, to AI, to a whole bunch of different things. And I'm telling you that the future belongs to the observers, the creatives, and the innovators. Those are going to be your experts. And we are going into a season where you need to be an expert on your gift, or you are going to be outsourced by AI. And the people who are spiritually rooted and spiritually grounded will always have access to the creative and witty inventions in their very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. And it is those gifts that are going to make room for them. But if you are not connected to your gifts, because you are not connected to your core, you are not connected to yourself, you are not operating in your feminine essence, you are positioning yourself to be prey in this system, prey for other people. People are about to get way more savage than you realize. Y'all have been paying attention to what's going on with these ports. It ain't no joke. Y'all about to see something. And you need to be in right community that's actually making moves and getting something done. So if you know that you're in this space and you're ungoverned emotionally, okay, and you're struggling, I got two options for you. The first option I have for you is to get the emotional wealth kit, okay? The link is in the bio. You can get a recliner, a firm, and afterpay. All right? That's the first thing. The second thing that I would recommend for you, if you're ready to get in community and work with me directly, is I would tell you to join the Muse Activator. I have 5 spots available. We are starting on May the 15th, okay? And on May the 15th, these are the things that we're going to be getting into, okay? You're going to rebuild your inner government. You're going to restore your decision-making clarity. We're going to regulate you back into command. I am going to support you in the process of rewiring your mind and re-regulating your nervous system and reprogramming it, because that is what you're going to need. You're going to have to build in safety so you can attract safety. The reason why you can't attract a protector is because you don't know how to protect yourself. You don't protect yourself. So you are not an energetic match for a protector, sweetheart. You are an energetic match for a predator. And I'm telling you, this ain't sweet. We're not living in sweet season. We're living in the season of truth. And I'm telling you that if you are not positioning yourself for forward progress, you are positioning yourself to be prey. And a lot of women have got to get a hold of their emotional responses and get a hold of their emotions, because it makes a difference. Okay? So the Muse Activator program is starting on May 15th. It is a 4-figure investment. It is $2,222. Yes, you can get a recliner, firm, and afterpay. Yes, there are deposits that you can take, that I take, that you can do that, or you can pay it in 2 installments. The women who have come out of my programs have gone from 5 figures to 6 figures, 6 figures to multi-6 figures. The women who have come out of my programs have gone from 0 cash to almost 15K in less than 30 days. My clients have attracted better relationships. My clients have improved their marriages. My clients have healed reversed heart damage. I got a client who lost 70 pounds in reverse heart damage, baby. They told her that her heart was performing at 25%. Do you hear me? We started working together, baby. She flipped it around upside down, reversed that whole thing, okay, and lost 70 pounds. Had another client who had an alcohol problem and was really struggling with liver damage and had some real serious things going on her A1C. Baby, she done lost 50 pounds, reversed that with her liver, got her A1C together. Had another client who was struggling with hormonal acne and couldn't get rid of it after her mother died. We started working together and she learned how to sync with her cycle, much like I teach you in the emotional wealth kit, and she got rid of that emotional acne quickly. Skin started lighting up, body started coming together, all of that. I am 41 years old, okay? This is the best that I've looked in my adult life. When I was 20 something, I was, like I said, I was over 100 something pounds heavier. When you start doing your work, you begin to radiate and everything else around you begins to shift. When you come up and vibrate to a higher state, everything either has to fall off that does not align or come up to your standard, but you don't go back down. So emotional wealth is the new currency, because they're going to be looking for people who can be emotionally regulated and emotionally rooted. And if that is your struggle, the first point needs to be, okay, at the emotional wealth aspect. So if you need a starter, if you are a high performing woman, click the link in my bio and get the emotional wealth codes. Okay, that is the free opt-in that I have. You can get that, and you can go from that to the emotional wealth kit. Okay, if you really want to get into magnetizing wealth and you want to get into love and your nervous system and attracting intimacy and income, then look at the wealth magnet, okay, kit, because that is going to support you in that. All right, what questions do you have for me? Drop those questions in the comments. Y'all, I'm telling you, women can't afford to be out here playing these toxic little games. You can't afford to do it anymore. Y'all are going to be prey. And I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth. A lot of y'all need to stop listening to a lot of people, and I'm not gonna drop no names, but y'all need to stop listening to a lot of this content that's telling y'all how to get money from men, because the truth of the matter is y'all don't know what y'all doing, and a lot of those people who operate according to those principles have to turn off a level of their emotional state that you can't do, and you need to keep it real with yourself. You need to keep it real with yourself. Even when we talk about women who do SW work, they will tell you they have to turn off a part of themselves. Some of them have to do things to turn a part of themselves off to be able to participate in these experiences. See, y'all are out here trying to go and get tips and tricks on how you can get money from men and how you can do this, and y'all don't even know how to discern. Y'all don't even know how to discern. I could tell you how to get money from men. Let's get into it if you really want to get into the truth of the matter. Men invest in what they value, and if they're not investing in you, they don't value you. Move along, move around. See, that is real simple. See how simple that is? See how that decision can be made just like that? He's not investing in me. Time, energy, attention, no type of money, nothing. He's not investing time, energy, attention. You need to move around. He don't value. He don't value. Because men invest in things they value. Point blank, period, the end, they always have. And they lock in to things that are in alignment with them at that time, what they value at that time, and what puts them in a high vibrational state at that time. And if you are not doing that, then they're not going to invest in you. Do you understand that? But no, you want to try to take it personal and be like, oh my God, is something wrong with me? No, you just need to be in spaces where you're valued. Great value isn't valued at HEB or Kroger. Great value is valued at Walmart. People are not valuing great value at HEB, at Kroger, or any other chain grocery store. Okay? Great value is being valued at Walmart. You need to be in spaces where you are valued. So you don't need to be out here looking for people, how can I get this person to invest in me and do this and do that? You need to show yourself as an asset, and people will automatically invest in you. I talk about this all the time. People give me things all the time, especially men. It's not because I'm like this. And I had one tell me flat out, you just make a man want to take care of you. The way you just are, you make a man want to take care of you. I know it. Because it's very clear that I take care of myself. So the thing is, what you are seeking from someone else, you are trying to outsource power from them so you can feel powerful. See, it make you feel good to take somebody else's money. It's an even better feeling to walk around and understand that you are the true value and that people will invest in you because you just you. See, you have to really start paying attention to these things and stop being sidetracked. Emotional wealth is the new currency. You need to be rooted in who you are. You need to show up as an asset, and you will always be invested in. And I do mean always. And if you don't know how to do that, then you need to come and get into the Muse Activator. It's a 6-week program. It is going to get you all the way together. It is going to activate your inner muse. What people don't understand or they're not clear on, if you don't know what a muse is a work of art. I am a muse. Okay? A muse is a work of art. A muse is a source of inspiration. A lot of women don't realize that they are muses because they don't understand their value. And because you don't understand your value, people will not pay you according to the value in which you believe that you deserve, amongst other things. Okay? So these things are very important, and you really need to pay attention to that. So all of this, I'm just waiting on the right time. I'm waiting on alignment. You're not waiting on alignment. You are avoiding responsibility. And if you want to manifest and sustain the things that you are manifesting, okay, then you're going to have to implement and have a clear understanding of what the IRA is that goes along with that, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. If you're trying to manifest, I want to be married and I want to be a mother. Along with setting intentions, what are the responsibilities that come with that? Are you prepared to be accountable for the things and the setbacks that come with that? Are you open and ready for that? If you are fully and you have full understanding, then you know what you're getting yourself into. When you don't, this is why we have a generation of a lot of women who hate being mothers. This is why we have a generation of a lot of women who hate being married. Because they feel like they've been bamboozled. They've been tricked. Because y'all don't keep it real. Y'all don't keep it real about marriage. Y'all don't keep it real about motherhood. Y'all don't keep it real about money. And when people get into these elements and get in these scenarios, they're trying to figure out why they ain't why they're losing their minds. because this is something that they should be able to do, because everyone is doing it and everyone made it seem like it was just so la-di-da. Y'all be lying. That's why when women come ask me about marriage, I was married for 8 years. I tell the truth. I tell the truth. Marriage is for grown folks. You understand what I'm telling you? And a lot of people are not grown. Grown by definition means to mature. There's a lot of adults in attachments. They in attachments. They ain't even in agreements. You're in attachments. And the crazy part about it is marriage is a covenant, which is an overall agreement. It's a spiritual agreement. You're attaching yourself to people that you don't even agree with. And wonder why you're miserable? Trying to figure out how you manifest that? Baby, wasn't no IRA. Wasn't no IRA involved. Yeah, you set intentions on getting a husband. You didn't understand the responsibility with that, and you didn't understand the accountability that comes with that. And this is the thing that we need to think about. Question is, why is shame such a setback? I want to answer this in a way. No, I'm just going to say what it is. Shame is only a setback to people who have not freed themselves. I'm going to say that again. Shame is only a setback to people who have not freed themselves. I want to be very clear about something. I'm 41, and we talked about this, right? In my 20s, 20 years ago, there are horror stories about me. You understand what I'm telling you? Horror. You will hear people say, when people mention my name, it's gonna few things you're gonna hear, okay? She's so kind. She's truly a good person. She da-da-da. You're gonna hear all that great stuff. And you're gonna hear other people that's gonna say, I knew her when she was crazy as hell. I knew her when she was violent. I knew her when you couldn't say nothing to her and she was ready to put them hands on you. I can tell you she used to walk around with a box cut and she was crazy. There are a multitude of things that people can say in regard to me. And if I stood before a council of 1,000 people and they decided to drop off everything that I've ever done in my entire life, they still couldn't shame me. And here's why. And I've done some things that possibly to society could be deemed as shameful, right? The reason why they can't keep me in a state of shame is because I'm not a slave to my experiences. See, I have forgiven myself for how I treated myself in the position that I put myself in when I didn't know myself. When I didn't know my power and I gave my power away and I outsourced my power and I was looking for people to give me things that I was giving myself. See, I forgave myself for those things. I freed myself from those shackles. So I don't do mental gymnastics about who I used to be. I understand who I was when I was in that period. I was there. So it's nothing you can tell me about me because I was there. That was my experience. And because I freed myself from that and understanding that that is a part of the journey that made me me, what shame can you put on me, sweetheart, at this big age? What can you say to me that's going to make me shake? Because one thing for sure, two things for certain about me. If I make a decision to do something, baby, I didn't thought about the consequences. I didn't thought about everything that goes into it. And I didn't say, what's happening? This is what we doing. I'm one of them. So I don't do things that, one, I'm ashamed of. Even when I was crazy as hell, I didn't do things I was ashamed of. I did what I wanted to do. And if women took more ownership and was real with themselves and said, at the time, I did what I wanted to do. I did what I felt like was best for me to do at that time. And I look back on it now, like, if I had to do it again, no, I probably wouldn't do that because that's not the best things for me to do. But shame is only a setback for people who have not freed themselves. I've been free. They say who the sun sets free is free indeed, baby. When I got free, well, nobody gonna put me back in them shackles. So you can tell me everything about myself. You can run it. And I'm still gonna sit here and be good. Because all of those things made me who I am. So shame to me, I mean, it has its place. Like I don't have an issue with shame because I feel like in some instances, I feel like people who do the things that they want to do and then want to backbite on that, they should feel shame. Now that's my personal opinion. Because I don't personally believe you should do things that you're gonna be ashamed of. I feel like you should, if you're gonna jump, you should do it. You should say it, do it with your chest. That's how I feel. If you're gonna make a decision to do something, I should feel like you should go full-fledged with it. And not care what anybody else thinks. Because if you're caring about what somebody else is thinking, that influences your decision making, you're actually an imposter. You're not who you portray yourself to be. You're doing it for the plot and not for the truth. See, I don't do things for the plot. I do it because it's my truth. It's what I want and what I desire. So I think that's the thing when it comes down to shame. Like, shame me, child. It take my friends to say, baby, my best friend to tell you, I'm the queen of I don't give up. My best friend would tell you, anytime something happened, she gonna call me and she be like, girl, I was trying to do this. She said, girl, let me just call the one who the queen of I don't give up. Cause that is me. If I did it, I did it. And what? Now what? What about it? That'd be my favorite question. You remember that time when, yeah, I did it. What about it? Because now you got to explain to me why you bring that up and what about it. Oh, no, I was just reminiscing. What made you reminisce about that? All the memories that let's get into it. Because some people will try to bring things to you to try to shame you. Nice try. Don't work on me, though. Nice try. Like my little sister be saying, baby, right scam, wrong one. Okay? Right scam, wrong one. So, yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? Make sure you click the link in the bio to inquire about the Muse Activator program. You're going to get a PDF that breaks down the entire program, what you'll get in it, what that looks like. If you're interested in the emotional wealth kit, like I said, in that kit you get Master Your Emotions the Feminine Way, you get the Magnetism Reset Masterclass, and you learn how to reprogram your mind to achieve any goal. And I do mean any goal. That how to reprogram your mind to achieve any goal, that right there is chef's kiss. It is pure gold. If you've ever wanted to achieve a goal, I'm showing you the formula on what I did to lose over 100 pounds, what I did to build a 6-figure business from the ground up, what I did to become a digital nomad and travel the world. All those things came from me reprogramming my mind. And I'm showing you every single detail and step in that process. So you can click the link in the bio to be able to get access to that bundle. If you want to go deeper and you want to focus more so on the money aspect of things, the love aspect of things, then go a step up to get into the Magnetizing Wealth Kit. Okay? I don't see any other questions. So I just love you. I'll be quiet, but I'll be listening to it. Well, I appreciate that. Any other questions? Any other questions before I get to let y'all go? Y'all, I got a session tonight. I have a workout class that I'm gonna do. I'm really excited about. I'm on live. Any questions? Yeah, hold on one second. Hi.
Yeah, I was trying to go to the breaker in your room.
Give me one sec. Okay, y'all. Let me go ahead and close out this live. Thank y'all so much for being here. I am going to upload this on YouTube. So I will see y'all soon. Peace.